everybody, welcome to Big Balls Fantasy Football, the show of powerful picks, sexy superfans, and that's really fun. I'm your host, 20-year fantasy veteran, Greg Reifsteck.
And I'm your co-host, Jenilee, a 10-year fantasy veteran, and this is our cute, adorable little sidekick. This is Zoe, and together we are the beauty
and the beast
of fantasy football experts.
So we are in Week 16. We are in your fantasy Super Bowl. It's it. It's finally here. It's taken all season to get here, and Jenilee is in the holiday spirit.
I am. We're about a little more than a week away from Christmas. I will be going back to Chicago for Christmas, so of course I have my Santa hat on, and we're all wearing our Bulls gear, Zoe included, because the Bears sucked this year. They sucked the life out of us in football.
Yep, the Bears do not deserve to have one piece of clothing on us. The Bears lost their ass on national TV, 35-15. So I want to do a little impersonation for you really quick, okay? See if you can guess who I am.
I would probably have to guess maybe Cutler.
Yes. No smile, no expression, arms hanging. He reminds, you know what my new nickname for him is? Charlie Brown.
Yeah,
He's Charlie Brown. Yeah.
He basically never has emotion. I mean, I noticed it when they were singing the national anthem, you know, before the game even started, and they show, you know, Cutler on the screen next to, you know, and a cut of Drew Brees.
Yeah.
And he's just emotionless, and it's like, what does it take to get this guy going? I mean, you've had the worst season. You should be at least playing for your teammates, at least playing for pride. Play to earn your huge paycheck you're getting. You know? And it's just, I don't know what it takes to get him going. Yeah. I'm beyond over Cutler. I'm beyond over this Bears team. Yeah. It's just been bad. So
yeah, I mean, he's totally checked out. And then all day today in the media and last night after the game, you get to see every national, you know, commentator worth their salt, even the people that I hate, just reaming Jay Cutler out and reaming out the management of the Bears. It's embarrassing. Anthony, who's at Tin Horn, posted on his page on Facebook, and we reposted it, $50 club seats available that usually go for about $800, sometimes for like Packer games, like $2,000, $50. The fans have spoken.
Oh, yeah, and I think that there were a total of like 11,000 empty seats at last night's game. So, and I have a little impression too. Who am I? Well, we had a great week of practice. We have a lot we have to work on.
That would be Trestman. Definitely Trestman. Every single week. That's his mantra. And that shouldn't be your coach's mantra. It should be, hey, what the fuck is going on here? You know, why are we doing so badly? You know, bitching about it. I am sure when Aaron Rodgers had a crappy week last week, I'm sure Mike McCarthy chewed his ass out.
Oh, yeah. And I mean, it's just this constant, we didn't get it done. We didn't do enough to win. We didn't get it done. Yeah, you didn't get it done. So how are you going to change things to actually get it done? So I actually read a report just before we started the show on CBS Sports Chicago that management met last night after yet another blowout, another half of football that the Bears had 0 points on the board, and that it's very, very possible that they will let go of Trestman, even though the Bears typically don't let go of a head coach within a 2-year span. They usually allow the coach, you know, more time, but it's just been such a drastically horrible, terrible year. That Trestman is definitely, I think, for sure on the hot seat. We've been saying he should be on the hot seat for a while. I think Mel Tucker will be gone. I would love if Cutler would be gone, but we're obviously paying him way too much money with that contract to be able to trade or unload him, I'm pretty sure. But
well, I mean, what's that, Zoe? Yeah. See,
you want Cutler gone too?
She wants Cutler gone too. So that's it. You know, when you have the expert speaking, you know, that's it. So she's going to find our season down there on the floor. That's what she's doing.
That's where
Where's our season? Where's our season? It's on the floor. It's somewhere. It sure as hell wasn't with us. So, I mean, the game was horrible, and you just have it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing because Jacksonville is like just notoriously the land of suck, and they don't have a huge payroll. So it's like, okay, they suck. Or you have other teams that just they suck year after year after year, and they're notorious for it. We came in with all of these great players, and we came up with everybody on the table ready to do this, and I'm saying this right now again, like I said last season, we let the wrong quarterback go. We let the wrong quarterback go. We should have kept McCown. He was the one that got us into the playoffs. For some reason, he worked in Trestman's system. I don't know how, but he made it work, and it got us to the playoffs. So my opinion is, I think if we would have kept him, I think you might disagree with me. I don't know if you agree with me.
I mean, McCown is not a long-term guy that you're going to have at quarterback. He obviously isn't doing very much in Tampa Bay. Look at Tampa Bay. They're a disaster. So he's not the type of quarterback that's going to lead you to the Super Bowl. We missed the playoffs last year. We didn't make it in the playoffs. We were closer to getting in the playoffs. We were one game away.
A much better record.
I don't think McCown's the answer, but you don't sign a guy like Cutler to a long-term contract either when he has a terrible touchdown-to-interception ratio. He continues to turn the ball over. He continues to not get better at the mistakes, and I feel like maybe he doesn't put the time in that he needs to. I don't know exactly what the problem, but when you've gone through a slew of head coaches and coordinators that can't get through to this guy, you don't give a guy like that type of contract. You just don't do that.
Should we do what every other sports commentator does and blame his wife? Blame his hot wife? Is that what we should do? I'm just kidding. Let's get down to stats. Let's get down to the horrible stats. We were just humiliated. I mean, our defense was horrible. Cutler, 194, 2 touchdowns, 3 picks. I mean, that says it all. The 3 picks is what killed us. Forte was the shining light, as usual, on the team. 16 attempts for 78 yards rushing, 2 passes for 21 yards. Fantasy-wise, he did good for you. I'm going to talk about him in my picks this week about how this week he isn't going to be a very good pick. And then you had Alshon Jeffrey, 4 for 78 and a touchdown. And then Wilson got a touchdown as well.
Yeah. Of course, that all was in garbage time when the game was already being lost for long enough by the Bears. And, I mean, this is definitely the worst Bears season I have ever seen. It is embarrassing not only on the field but off the field. Everything that's going on with Cromer saying stuff about Cutler into the media. And, I mean, it's just everything being piled up with this team is just... We are the embarrassment of the NFL. It's a complete joke, and fans are tired of it. And please, ownership, if Phil Emery stays, please do something with this team because this is a big market team. Chicago is a huge sports city, and we're fed up. I'm so sick of it. I barely even watched the game last night. I went to run an errand and didn't even finish watching the game because I'm just so freaking sick of it.
It shocked me. I'm like. We were texting through the whole game, and all of a sudden, she's like, I ran an errand. I'm like, wow. Die-hard Bears fan. Jenilee runs an errand.
I'm so tired. I'm tired of it. I'm on to Bulls and Blackhawks. Tired.
Go Bulls. Go Bulls. D-Rose, stay upright. You're doing okay right now. Don't trip over anything on the way to the locker room, okay? Or go to the store and, stub your toe, anything. Do you want to take us through the...
Yeah, so the Saints looked a lot better than they have. They haven't been the best team.
Wonder how that happened.
Yeah, they haven't been the best team this season either. But they are still looking to get into the playoffs in that horrible NFC South division. We helped
them get to the top of the division last night.
Yes, we did. Brees had 375 yards and 3 touchdowns. Mark Ingram had 58 yards and 1 rushing touchdown. And Colston had 5 for 65 yards, 1 touchdown. Graham had 87 yards, no touchdowns for him, but Josh Hill stole the spotlight, the Saints' other tight end, and he had 2 touchdowns. So we had a little bit of vulturing going on.
That segues right into what I wanted to talk about next, and that is I was texting her, who's Josh Hill? And she's like, the other tight end. And I'm like, well, no, everybody needs Jimmy Graham. This sucks. Both of us were the victim of another vulturing on the Chiefs.
Yeah, absolutely. I picked up Niall Davis in case Jamal Charles wouldn't go for some reason.
So did I.
And, Jamal Charles ended up playing, so I started Charles. Davis was on my bench, and for sure, Davis did a lot better.
Yeah, I think I got 8 points out of Jamal, and there was 21 points for Niall Davis on the bench, and I needed them because I ended up losing in mine, and I'm playing third place in my game against Prost in Trash Bowl 15. So I'm playing for a hey you, come up here, come up here. There you go.
She's very talkative today.
She's upset. She's upset about the Bears. That's the problem. She's extremely upset. We're pumped up, so dog sense that stuff, and she's pumped up. So what you are going for all the marbles in my work league at Disney.
I am. It's actually a money league, and I'm in the championship game, so we will see what ends up happening this week. I have a couple matchups that might be slightly tough. I know T.Y. Hilton is iffy right now, with the hamstring, so I'm hoping he goes because he's been fantastic this season for me. So I think it's going to be a tough championship game, but, 1 more week to go.
She took out the guy that was in first place for the entire season.
That's right.
And as Prost and I used to always say, Prost used to go in first, and I'd go, well, it was good seeing you in the playoffs because you're going to go out in the first week. It happens in most leagues. All season, you got this stellar record, and then we're going to talk about it in our segments this week, in our Beast Mode and in our Real Men. Just hard matchups, especially coming up in week 16.
Oh, yeah. Well, Aaron Rodgers and company had a really tough time against that Bills tough defense.
We warned you.
So Rodgers, probably hurt a lot of people that were in the playoffs. He normally plays way better. So it really does come down to matchups, and I think that's a strategy we've been talking about.
Yes.
And I've been, messing around with a little bit this year, is going to the waiver wire and seeing if there's a better matchup out there. There's not always going to be, but sometimes there are still some people left out there. You do need to start your key starters, but if you have a guy that's just been a little up and down during the season and he's got a bad matchup, there might be somebody else out there that is also up and down but has a good matchup, and you might want to go grab that person.
Or you have somebody that's streaking, who we talked about, and there is one player that got you win after win after win.
Oh, yeah. Odell Beckham Jr., I picked him up off the waiver wire, I think, a couple weeks into when he started doing good. And he has just been, balling out. So, a lot of times you have to draft a good team, but injuries are going to happen. People are going to come up through the season that you didn't see coming, and you got to be able to go and get them.
Yeah. So, I'm not saying one player won it for your team, but he was definitely essential in coming out of. She was in the middle, and then she leapfrogged me to get into the playoffs, and then she took out number one.
Yeah.
So that's fantasy football, ladies and gentlemen. And then I wanted to give my happiness. The one thing that I am happy about, my Christmas gift this year was Johnny Football completely shitting the bed in his debut with the Browns. I was loving it. I was completely loving life. I could hear all the ESPN people in their office over there in Bristol just crying. Our East Coast guy that we've been hoping would do so well comes out and just bombs it off. He ended up going, the game was just a shutout, and 30-0. Just a freaking embarrassment. He went 10 for 18 for 80 yards passing, 5 for 13 rushing. This dynamo, equal to RG3 rusher. Nothing. Not a damn thing. And a lot of people picked him up, hoping he was going to be their, miraculous hope to get into the playoffs, and tons of people got killed on him.
Yeah, and, you know, I think it's a situation where with a lot of college quarterbacks, it is tough to know who's going to come out and do really well and excel in the NFL and who's not. I know throughout a lot of the years, you know, there's been these quarterbacks that get drafted top 5 that don't end up doing anything. Then there's quarterbacks like Russell Wilson that get drafted in the 2nd, 3rd round, end up, you know, coming out and being really good in the pros. So I think it's unpredictable. I definitely think if Johnny Football is going to do well in the NFL, he needed this wake-up call. He needs a couple wake-up calls to humble him and realize that, you know, the NFL isn't college. These defensive guys.
You can't be walking around like this on the field in the NFL because a guy's going to come over and he's going to beat your ass.
Yeah, these defensive guys are fast. They're good. They're veterans. And, you know, he's got a lot to learn still. So I think we will end up seeing, you know, time will tell if he will do anything in the NFL. But, you know, for sure, he needs to learn that it's not as easy as he thought, maybe.
Yeah, and what pissed me off, I had Isaiah Crowell in my flex, and because he got the team so far behind, the running game went to hell because you can't run when you're down 20-0. So everybody that had Weston Crowell got screwed too. And I'm going to talk about that on one of my picks. Just, I mean, if the quarterback starts sucking, your running game's going to go to shit too. Yeah. So this is our official last episode of the season.
It is our last episode.
It's our last
and
episode.
I have something for Greg.
Oh, for goodness.
It's Christmas time. He did this to me last year.
I know.
So I'm getting him back this year.
She's getting me. I'm going to give you a gift we're going to do one more show from the Tin Horn where it's going to be just a complete bitch fest. You're going to see such angry Bear fans at the Tin Horn. It's going to be like a bloodbath. I think we'll maybe find, you know, like a Lions fan out on the street and just like, you know, pummel him. I'm just kidding. No violence. It's just a goddamn sport. Oh boy.
No, time for the Bears to lose out.
What do we got here? Hey,
you know what that is.
You bought me one too?
Yeah.
All right. Brendan Marshall. Very worthy cause. Brendan Marshall Foundation. Go to thebrandonmarshall.org right there. Go back to one of our episodes at the Tin Horn. It was a really good cause. Thank you so much.
You're very welcome. Merry Christmas.
Yay. Now I'm going to glow on Christmas. I'm going to look like a damn ornament. So keep up with us on social media during the off season. And we, of course, at bigballsfantasyfootball.com. Our Facebook page is facebook.com/bigballsfantasyfootball.
And our Twitter is @BigBallsFBall. So catch us at any one of these. You're watching us on YouTube, youtube.com/BigBallsFootball.
Any last words, Zoe, before we do our picks?
Go Bulls.
Go Bulls. Don't stub your toe, Derrick Rose. Come on. All right, well, everybody have a wonderful holiday season, whether it be Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah, whatever spiritual thing you believe in, or if this is your religion. You know, have a great holiday. Any holiday wishes from you?
No, just happy and safe holidays, of course, and good luck in, for sure, your fantasy championships. If you made it that far, good luck. I hope you guys win.
Yeah.
And also good luck to your teams if your real-life teams are doing better and they've clinched the playoff or are going to make the playoffs. Good luck to you as well.
Definitely. All right. I think I am first this week, so on to the Beast Mode picks. Stay tuned. Hey everybody, welcome back to Big Balls Fantasy Football. It's Greg the Beast with 4 Beast Mode picks this week. We're doing our playoff edition. Welcome to week 16, everybody. Hope a lot of you made it to your fantasy Super Bowl. I know there's a few rare people that have week 17s, but I mean, what do you have, 16, 18 teams in your league? Come on, this is it. This is the big week, and we're going to give you 2 go hards and 2 go softs to help you with matchup situations in the playoffs. If you're just watching this segment separately in our show, happy holidays. have a great holiday season, and let's hopefully give you some gift picks this week. So my first pick for you this week are two receivers. You got Vincent Jackson, and Mike Evans over there on Tampa Bay playing the Packers defense, who are 8th. They give up the 8th most fantasy points, 2 wide receivers, and have the 23rd ranked defense overall. Basically, Mike Evans has emerged this season. VJax has been the star on their team, but he's been a little gimpy. So you have Mike Evans, who has kind of taken the Alshon Jeffrey to the Brandon Marshall role over there in Tampa Bay. And Mike Evans has, of course, turned into a touchdown machine this season. He has had 948 yards, 11 touchdowns, and has only missed a touchdown 5 out of the last 15 weeks. That's some crazy good points for you. You have no complaint with Mike Evans. I think he maybe had 1 or 2 slow weeks in there. I think what he's been doing is pushing Vincent Jackson, who hasn't had a lot of touchdowns recently, but I think Vincent Jackson will get a touchdown this game for you because of this matchup with the Packers. Essentially, the way the coaches have been running them is they've been sharing the carries the last few games as the number 1 receiver. They're kind of looked at as like co-number 1 receivers. So each of them have been benefiting. Each of them have been benefiting you. Unfortunately, VJax a little bit more in the yard situation. Mike Evans a little bit more in the touchdown situation. I think this game's going to be a shootout. I know that McCown is not Aaron Rodgers, but Aaron Rodgers got smacked down a little bit by the Bills last week, so I know he's going to come out gunning. And I think McCown is getting a chemistry with these 2 receivers, so I would get them in your lineup this week for sure. Nobody's benching Mike Evans, but, Vincent Jackson, don't be discouraged by the touchdown situation. Get him in there. I think he's going to get you a touchdown this week. My second pick for you this week, my second go-hard pick, is C.J. Anderson on the Broncos. This week playing the Bengals defense, who give up the 4th most fantasy points to running backs. Basically, the way they've been using C.J. Anderson, of course, he has turned in their guy that they run him out of the backfield and they pass to him, and he goes off. He is a very hard runner. He is a very violent runner, and he's getting the job done there in Denver. And with this matchup this week, there's no way you can't play him. You're going to unfortunately have to wait till Monday night for your points, so be patient. Plug him in there. Your opponent might be ahead by 30 points, and you might just be able to make it up with CJ. Anderson rushed 29 times for 85 yards and caught 2 passes for 11 yards in Week 15 in the win at San Diego. And that was one of his slow weeks. So if that's one of your slow weeks at running back, I think you're in pretty damn good shape. Make sure you get Anderson in your lineup. So let's get on to the go softs. My first go soft, I really hate to say this, but it's a really horrible matchup situation for Matt Forte, of course, running back on the Bears, who has been the beacon on our Bears team, the one guy that has consistently been getting you points, except when he does play hard run defenses. And Detroit, who they're playing this week, has the toughest front line against the run. They're really hardcore. The last time he played them was on Thanksgiving, and it was pretty humiliating for him. He ended up managing to get 6 yards on 5 carries. Yikes. I know he got 6 grabs in the air for 52 yards, but fantasy-wise, that's not what you're looking for. You need, definite double digits this week in your Week 16 Super Bowl fantasy matchup, and Forte's just not going to do it for you this week. It's just a bad situation all around on the Bears, and the fact that Forte's not going to be able to get the game going against Detroit, it's just going to make fantasy bad on the Bears. I'll just add in, wouldn't put Forte in. I wouldn't put Forte in. I wouldn't put Cutler in. And, I mean, maybe Alshon Jeffrey, maybe we'll get a little bit of heat off of him, a little bit of Wilson, but it's going to be a bad game this week. I'm not looking forward to going to the Tin Horn, but, you know, that's just the way matchups go this late in the season. And my second go soft this week is Phillip Rivers, who's playing the Niners D. They give up the 8th fewest fantasy points to quarterbacks, and this is the 3rd-ranked defense overall, the Niners. This is always a tough matchup. And Phillip Rivers has, of course, done his wonderful season-ending dive that he always does. First half of the season, great for fantasy, and just recently, he has not been doing very spectacular. All you owners know this. Yes, he had one hot shit week. He had one hot shit week, week 13 against Baltimore, with 383 yards and 3 touchdowns. But since then, he's only been getting 1 touchdown a game, and he's had 5 picks over the last 4 weeks. As Jenilee always says, the touchdown to pick ratio, you get that going in fantasy, your quarterback isn't going to get you any points. It's going to be a horrible situation. And then on top of it, Keenan Allen is going to be out, one of his weapons. I mean, it's just going to be, I think, a pretty crappy game for him against the Niners. So those are the picks for this week, my Beast Mode picks. Let's take it over to Jenilee and her real men. Good luck in your playoffs.
I need a real man. Have you seen him? Welcome back and Merry Christmas. This is week 16 of the NFL in my Real Men segment. So this is the last one for you all. If you made it to the championship round, congratulations on just making it there, and we're going to try to help you win. So also, if you do have a week 17 still going in your playoffs, you can always get a hold of us on Facebook, facebook.com/BigBallsFantasyFootball, or Twitter @BigBallsFBall. We can answer your line of questions there. We can still answer your line of questions on those social media sites for the rest of the week if you have specific questions for us. But these are the picks to just help you out of who should get you a lot of points and who probably won't get you all that many points, so be careful about. So I'm going to start with my go hards. My first go hard is Matthew Stafford and Megatron. This is a package deal with these two because they both need a bounce back game. Last week they both struggled a little bit against the Vikings defense, but this is going to be their bounce back game, trust me, because they play our shitty Bears defense. Our Bears are shitty all around, but our defense is bad. They are ranked 30th this year, and they are ranked 31st versus the pass. The only part of the defense that has improved a little bit is versus the run, but they are terrible against the pass. As you can see, we are boycotting the Bears. We're wearing our Bulls and our Hawks stuff, Blackhawks over there, because our Bears have just sucked the life out of our football life this season. Week 13, when they played the Bears, Stafford went for 390 yards and 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. And Megatron had 11 catches for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns. So both of those touchdowns that Stafford threw went to Megatron. I think they're going to have a very good day again. They are playing in Chicago, so it's going to be cold weather, but I wouldn't worry about that too much. And the Lions are playing for a playoff spot. Their record is tied with Green Bay right now, but they are 1 up on Green Bay because they beat them earlier in the season. So this is an important game for the Lions. The Bears basically aren't playing for anything. They have 0 energy when they're on the field. So this is a game that I think the Lions are going to very easily take over. Get those 2 in your lineup and expect a much better game than last week. My second go hard is running back Fred Jackson of the Bills. Now, I know that CJ Spiller is active. They took him off of IR, but we aren't sure if he's going to play just yet. If he's not going to play, Fred Jackson is the guy. And even if they throw Spiller out there, I still think Fred Jackson is going to be the guy for you. I really think they're trying to save Spiller for if they maybe make the playoffs. But they are playing the Raiders, and the Raiders have given up the 2nd most fantasy points to running backs. In week 13, Trey Mason went for 117 yards on them, had 2 rushing touchdowns. He caught 47 yards and a receiving touchdown as well. So he went crazy. Last week, Niall Davis As we talked about, he kind of vultured Jamal a little bit. Davis had only 11 rushing yards, but he had 1 rushing touchdown. He had 70 receiving yards and 1 receiving touchdown. So running backs are definitely getting in the end zone against these Raiders. And Jamal did have 52 rushing yards. So Oakland is struggling against running backs. Jackson has had 20 rushing attempts in 2 of the last 3 weeks. So they are definitely giving him the ball versus any of their other backs. He's been the guy, the workhorse over there. And again, this is a team that is in the playoff hunt. The Bills still have a chance to make the playoffs. Oakland, of course, has been terrible, like my Bears, all season long. They're not playing for much. They're probably playing for more pride than my Bears have right now. But Buffalo does have a chance to make the playoffs. This is an important game for them. So let's move it on to my Go Softs. My first Go Soft is tight end Owen Daniels of the Ravens. He's a guy that's been very up and down this season, but they're playing the Texans, and the Texans have only allowed tight ends 8 catches total in the last 3 weeks. So tight ends are not getting a hold of the ball against this Texan defense. And Daniels only has 474 yards and 4 touchdowns on the season. Again, he's been very inconsistent, very up and down. He's really only had a couple weeks that if you had him in your lineup, he really got you double-digit points and did much of anything. And this is a game that both teams are fighting for a playoff spot, so this is an important game for both teams. They are, however, playing in Houston, and as we know, Flacco doesn't play near as good on the road as he plays at home, so this is a game that could be a little tough for the Ravens. Offensively, I think the Ravens' defense will be good, but don't look for a lot of catches or much going on with Owen Daniels. And my last Go Soft for this week is any wide receiver on the Cardinals, but wide receiver Larry Fitzgerald and Michael Floyd. I'll just focus on them. They are playing the Seahawks defense, and the Seahawks defense is finally looking like the Seahawks defense of last year, who won them the Super Bowl. They are first versus the pass, and they are giving up the fewest fantasy points to wide receivers. To pile on top of it, this tough matchup for the Cardinals wide receivers, they are playing with their 3rd string quarterback, Ryan Lindley. This is going to be a messy, tough game. I don't think the receivers are going to do much of anything. Andre Ellington, obviously, he's been out the last couple weeks. He's out for the season, of course. They put him on IR. But so I don't know what they're going to be able to do with their running game as well. I see this being a pretty tough game for the Cardinals. And this is a situation where the Cardinals have at least clinched a playoff spot. Now, they're still trying to win the division, but they have at least clinched a playoff spot. The Seahawks are trying to clinch a playoff spot and hopefully win the division. So this is a division matchup, which typically I don't like in fantasy. This is not a good matchup for those Cardinal wide receivers. And this game is way more important to the Seahawks than the Cardinals as well. So there you go. Those are your Go Hard, Go Softs for the last week. And of course, everyone, good luck in your playoffs this week. Like I said, if you need to ask us some questions for next week or for this coming Sunday, get a hold of us on social media. And we wish you happy holidays, Merry Christmas, all that good stuff from Big Balls Fantasy Football. You're going to be able to catch us a little bit in the off season, so stay tuned because we're going to have some stuff for you in the off season as well. But that will wrap us up for the regular season, and we will post on our website how we did in the final week of our playoffs. So good night. That's all we have for you, and happy holidays.